Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops.
The truth is, before tonight, there was only one person that the broadcasters wanted Wilder to fight, and that was Anthony Joshua. Now, there will be two people that the broadcasters wanted to fight, and now that's Dillian Whyte. So, you know, all Wilder's doing is waiting on Anthony Joshua. But he don't have to. He can still do that, but he can fight Dillian Whyte in a career high payday. And if he's so confident about winning, if he did beat Dillian Whyte, wow, the Joshua fight becomes, you know, astronomical. But I just think Wilder against Dillian here is just a monster.
He might also be keen to stay in America.
Who's that? Yeah, but he can't earn the money. But if he wants to do that, we'll go to America.
Yeah,
no problem.
It's not of mine. You know, we've already been to America, and that was part of the plan.
Eddie Hearn offers Dillian Whyte instead of Anthony Joshua to Deontay Wilder. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, a lot of people hit me up, Twitter, Instagram, various platforms, asked my thoughts. I didn't do a post-fight on Dillian Whyte versus Lucas Browne. Reason being, I was at the Virgil Hunter gym working. This was a UK broadcast, so it came on extremely early. Plus, I didn't even get home from shooting and filming until really late, so I would have missed it if it was on a regular time. It was on HBO out here in the States. I have not watched the fight. I know the outcome. Congrats to Dillian Whyte, 6-round knockout. I did watch the knockout. I've seen it, but I've seen highlights only. I haven't just sat and watched the entire fight. Now that we have that out the way, Eddie Hearn post-fight, you guys heard the audio, and he's calling for Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte in the UK, in London or somewhere in England, right? I seen this coming a mile away, people. I told you, I seen it. Now do you believe me? Right? Eddie Hearn, he's offering Dillian Whyte. It's reminiscent to any of my movie buffs seen the movie with Wesley Snipes, directed by Mario Van Peebles, with Mario Van Peebles, Chris Rock, Ice-T, Judd Nelson, right? Wesley Snipes, Alan Payne. But the scene where Nino Brown is in some kind of turf war with the rival gang, and he's at the wedding. It's the wedding shooting scene. And Wesley Snipes, being selfish, the character he is, Nino Brown, being so selfish, the rival gang rolls up to the wedding and starts spraying, starts shooting. And then Wesley Snipes ducks and dodging. He's trying to, you know what I mean, find cover. And he uses the little girl as a shield. Luckily, she doesn't get hit with any kind of stray bullets or whatever, but he picks up somebody's daughter who just happened to be at the wedding, and he's literally holding her, using her as a shield. And then Ice-T's character, he has to save the little girl, who's Wesley Snipes just kind of throws away after he's gotten to cover. This is what it reminds me of with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is using the Dillian Whyte as a shield. Listen, I like Dillian Whyte. I covered a fight, I think his only fight in America, Terrence Crawford in Dongo. He was on that card, seen him. Seems like a cool dude. I like his energy. I like that he's trying to fight people. I like that he knocked out Lucas Browne and, you know what I mean, called out Deontay Wilder. I don't have any problems with that. In fact, I don't even think the Wilder fight is a bad fight. However, that is not the fight that boxing needs. Dillian Whyte, we don't know. Yes, he has the WBC silver title or whatever version of the WBC, but Deontay Wilder has the real WBC title. Yes, he's ranked in the one spot with the WBC, but Dominic Breazeale fought on Wilder's undercard, and he fought an eliminator. I think it was with Eric Molina. It was an eliminator. So the WBC, I don't know because I don't work for them, but they'll probably, or they may order Dominic Breazeale versus Dillian Whyte, which to me makes sense. Dillian Whyte, Dominic Breazeale, they both fought Anthony Joshua, and they both came up short. Now, the only real difference other than them both being stopped by Joshua, is Dillian Whyte fought him when Joshua wasn't a champion, and Dominic Breazeale got knocked out when Anthony Joshua was a champion. But other than that, same outcome. So to me, those guys are climbing back up the ladder, and they've been doing good in their career. You know what I mean? Dominic Breazeale, since the Joshua loss, he fought that, I think he's from Africa or Wakanda or Ghana or somewhere, that Uzgadna, I don't even want to pronounce his name because I don't know. Then he knocked out Eric Molina. Cool. So to me, those guys, that's who you should be fighting to satisfy the WBC and just to keep climbing back up the ladder. But the champions need to unify. And if Joshua beats Joseph Parker, then that's Joshua versus Wilder. Because those other fights, like the Gerald Miller for Anthony Joshua, which has been something Eddie Hearn has thrown out, Dillian Whyte for Deontay Wilder, those fights can happen after. You know what I mean? To be honest, if I had it my way, I want to see Dillian Whyte before he gets a title shot. I would love to see him versus Dominic Breazeale or Povetkin if he wins and looks good, or Luis Ortiz, or Gerald Miller if he beats Johan Duhaupas. And then you could say Wilder and Joshua fight for undisputed, which is something boxing needs more of. And then from that point, whoever emerges out of the crops of, like Luis Ortiz, he's trying to get a Wilder rematch, okay, go through Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? Or Dillian Whyte, go through Gerald Big Baby Miller if he looks good in his next fight. You just look good versus Lucas Browne, right? Or Dominic Breazeale or whatever. And then now you could say the winner is worthy of another big fight or big name fight or shot at all the titles or whatever. You know what I mean? But to me, Eddie Hearn just keeps using Dillian Whyte as almost a shield. Like, even if Dillian Whyte is to lose to Deontay Wilder, it's like almost like Eddie Hearn feels at least maybe there's a chance Dillian can beat him, and or maybe there's a chance he can get banged up and put in a tough fight and get some mileage put on him before Joshua, so he's not quite so fresh, not quite so confident. But Eddie Hearn's saying, like, just listen to what's being said. He says Dillian Whyte was available for June, but Joshua's not. Why not? Why June? Why can't it be July? Why could it be August? He's saying it wouldn't happen until October, Wilder Joshua. And why? Why can't it happen in the summertime? You know what I mean? Because you don't want to make it happen. That's what it sounds like. And he also said that Deontay Wilder is just sitting around waiting for Joshua. And he can do that. He can keep sitting around waiting for Joshua, or he could fight Dillian Whyte. But how is he sitting around waiting for Joshua when he took on Joshua's mandatory? Luis Ortiz was put through a tough fight. You know what I mean? After Luis Ortiz, I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up, after Luis Ortiz failed the first drug test, some guys would have used that as a way out. Be like, this dude's already a good fighter. We don't know if he's doing something. Fighters on clenbuterol and birth control pills and heart regulation, hypertension medicine, and blood pressure pills. I'm not chancing it. He's already a good fighter as is, so I'm not chancing. Wilder didn't do that. He went straight to the fighter. He's like, I'm going to take care of Joshua's mandatory. I'm going to take care of the boogeyman of the division, show you I'm the real boogeyman, and get me closer to an AJ fight. That's what Wilder did. Facts. Factually speaking, that's what Wilder did, right? And now he has a signature name. He has the Bermain Stavern name when he was the challenger. Then he set the record straight by knocking out Stavern in the rematch, the only guy that goes the distance. And it's like all these roadblocks and continual roadblocks that keep getting created. First, he ain't fought nobody. And then, okay, he beats Luis Ortiz. Now, Dillian Whyte, because he looked good, or because he knocked out Lucas Browne. Now, all of a sudden, we have to watch Dillian Whyte versus Wilder before we get to Joshua. You know what I mean? What's to say, let's say Deontay Wilder beats Dillian Whyte. Let's say he beats him by stoppage, right? Are they going to throw someone? Is now Wilder going to have to fight Tony Bellew, David Hay winner or something? It's just like, make the Wilder-Joshua fight. And I'm not really buying all of this, like, oh, it needs to be built up. And again, how can you say that Wilder is sitting around waiting when he just took on Luis Ortiz? The fights were literally, I called it March Madness. One's March 3rd and one's March 31st. So they just, Joshua and Wilder really fought within the same month, basically. You know what I'm saying? So why can't Joshua, if he gets past Parker, be ready around the same time as as Wilder. June, July, August. You know what I mean? Why do we have to wait till October? So to me, it just seems like Eddie Hearn is trying to create another obstacle in hopes that Wilder is thwarted his plan to fight Joshua. You know what I mean? Or at the very least, he can build more money by making other fights that aren't as significant as Joshua Wilder. And then even if Wilder gets past him now, I guess in his mind, the AJ versus Wilder is worth the maximum amount it's going to be worth. So even in the event that Joshua does lose, which who knows, maybe he can beat Wilder. I just want to see it. But in the event that he does lose, at least everybody cashed out and got what he feels is the maximum amount of money eligible for that particular fight. But too much can go wrong in boxing. I'm not trying to do that. Keith Thurman is holding up 2 belts in the welterweight division and he's injured. You know what I'm saying? Then he has to come back to a tune-up. You know what I mean? What if, God forbid, one of these fighters gets injured in training camp, gets injured in their fight, like the Parker-Joshua fight? You know what I mean? What if Joshua gets upset by Parker? I've just seen it time and time again in boxing. The longer you wait, the more things that can go wrong. And the hottest fight in boxing, definitely in the heavyweight division, especially based on styles. Yes, Tyson Fury is a good fight for anyone, but based on styles, explosive action, demeanor, right? Wilder Joshua is that fight. Tyson Fury, if he fights Wilder or if he fights Joshua, he's going to look to box them and outbox them and be herky-jerky just like he was with Klitschko, which I don't blame him. That's his best shot of winning. But an action fight that's almost definitely promising a knockout, I really can't see how Joshua Wilder doesn't end out in a knockout either way. Tyson Fury, if he were to beat Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua, then there's no guarantee that he'll knock them out. But Joshua Wilder, I think someone's getting stretched. So I seen this coming. Now Eddie Hearn's going to try to push this, but hopefully the WBC orders Dominic Breazeale versus Dillian Whyte, right? Because I'm not trying to see Joshua fight Miller next. I'm not trying to see Wilder fight Dillian Whyte next. Again, these aren't terrible fights, but we don't need to keep stalling and waiting this thing out. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think the plan is? Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.